what you want. Give me all of your love, 'cause it's burning hot. It's what you do to me, babe, I can guarantee. Honey, I got what you need. Under the night sky, I want your eyes all on me. Don't tell me lies now, I always get mine. Don't play with me. Do you want it? Can you feel me? No. Can you handle it? Right? Do you want it? Don't put your love on hold. I can't take it anymore. Put your love on me now. Trust me and you will see.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Becca. If you are new here, I'm a full-time stay-at-home mom. I am in the midst of honestly just feeling a little bit overwhelmed. I've been talking about this for like 2 months with my husband, and every time I get the like gumption to do it, I just feel like I never get it done, and then I go to bed and I'm like, I should declutter tomorrow. So today we are going to be decluttering my entire home. It's like 3 o'clock, it's a little bit late, but if you ever get that feeling like if I don't start right now, today, right now, it doesn't matter what else I'm doing. I was filming another video, I'm never going to start. I'm feeling like up here, everywhere I look, I feel like there's a stack of paper, there's a drawer that needs to be cleaned out, our school cabinet, we're about to start new curriculum. I just need a fresh start. I want to feel like I can breathe. I want to go into the holidays. My kids' birthdays are around the corner, and right after that it's like Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's. I normally do this at the end of the year, but I feel like we just need it now. So I'm gonna go room by room. I'm gonna try my hardest to just stay in one room, and I desperately want to start in the kitchen. I feel like every cabinet is overflowing, and honestly sometimes it's just easier to like shut the cabinet doors. So I'm gonna start in here. It's not so bad, I did this last year, but I feel like the cabinets are in disarray. Things are where they're not supposed to be, or I have like 5 of something and I reach for 2 and I just need to like get rid of them. I want to open everything behind the doors and not feel overwhelmed. I feel like I can breathe, and then I can finish doing fall decor. I started my fall decor in our bedroom. I did the front porch, and I cannot do anything in the living room and dining room. I like to film it early, but I can't. There's so much stuff out. So we're gonna get started. I have a coffee from this morning. It's gonna time me through dinner. I'm gonna give myself about 2 hours, which is insane.
Burning hot. It's what you do to me, babe, I can guarantee. Honey, I got what you need. Under the night sky, I want your eyes all on me. Don't tell me lies now, I always get mine.
Okay, so here we are. We're starting in the kitchen. We are starting in my coffee corner. I don't know what this cabinet is, you guys. It's like we have junk drawers that I've also made like a junk cabinet. There's like a basket from one baseball season. I keep flashlights in here because they don't fit anywhere else in the kitchen, and it just makes sense. And then it's like overflow tissue boxes, coffee filters, things that I haven't used. And we actually live in a area that we actually have a very heavy fire season, so keeping these masks on hand is crucial, and it's something that needs to be like ready to go right away. So I have a ton of them, but you never know like if you're gonna need them or your neighbors need them or whatnot. It's just nice to have those on hand, or you know, someone gets sick and you go to the hospital, you never know. So those are something that have to stay on hand. If you're wondering why I have so many of them, it's just nice to have them in case you need them or somebody else. Moving on, I've cleared everything out. I'm going to try my hardest to take everything out of the cabinets and place it in front of me, see what I have, and then see what's actually necessary, things that I've used, things I haven't used, to things I've never touched and just kind of like thrown to the wayside. I am definitely the type of organized person that it's like out of sight, out of mind. If I don't see it, I'm not going to use it. I think that goes for a lot of people, unless it's seasonal, like seasonal decor. I don't forget any of those items, but you guys, I just feel like my house has behind the doors. It's like behind the closets, behind the cabinets. I've just kind of maintain the spaces, and it's become overwhelming. So in this video, I am going to go through our entire home, and it's going to be decluttering in a really good way. But I feel like already watching this footage back, it's been about a month and I already know that I can go back through the house, and I feel like that's one of my biggest tips when it comes to decluttering. I'm just a mom, but I do this several times a year, and I've noticed some changes that when I do declutter, it is a lot easier sometimes if you take it step by step. And if you have to go back over a space, that's okay. That's where you give yourself grace and say, hey, you know what? This is a small win for today. I got this one cabinet emptied. Just look at how deep these cabinets are. Like, why do I have this much in here? It's like halfway medicine cabinet. There's decor in here. There's stuff from Valentine's Day. You guys, I just don't even know. So I'm going to finish taking things out of this cabinet. If you are new here, my name is Becca. I'm a full-time stay-at-home mom of 2, and we are a homeschooling family. We live in a very small town, and I absolutely adore my babies. I love to craft and DIY. I always have a cup of coffee in my hand. So let me know down below, do you like to declutter? Do you do it once a year? Do you like to go with the flow and just do it as you see necessary? Or are you like me and you spring it upon yourself when you have 100 things going on and you're like, I have to do this now or I'm never going to get it done? That is 100% my style. I will plan and plan and plan until the cows come home, and then I don't do it. And then one day I wake up and I have a wild hair, and it's like, hey, I'm gonna declutter today. Look at how much better that space looks. It's clear, it's empty, and we have space. These are a bunch of syrups. I work with the brand over on Instagram, and these are flavors that I actually don't reach for anymore. So I'm gonna see if I can give these away to a family or donate them. And there's quite a bit that I'll actually either give away or I'll donate. And then there are things that I'll find around the house that might just actually be trash. So there are things that you can potentially sell or things that you can gift to somebody else or just donate. I love these. Those are from Dollar Tree. I think they've had them for like 2 or 3 years now. So if you see them, pick them up. They're great candlestick holders. But then there's just random things like this that I find in my house. So I'm going to play some music. I will come back to you guys when we get to the glass cabinet. I didn't make it to the pantry today, but we are taking small wins as they come.
Honey, I got what you want. Give me all of your love, 'cause it's burning hot. It's what you do to me, babe, I can guarantee. Honey, I got what you need. Under the night sky, I want your eyes all on me. Don't tell me lies now, I always get mine.
Okay, so I'm desperately trying to procrastinate, honestly. I just opened this cabinet and I was like, Rebecca, like this used to be so organized, you guys. Like it was so organized. And I'm literally the only one ever in the kitchen, so it's literally just me. And I'm trying really hard to just have better habits. One, as an example for my kids are getting older and they're of age to like be in the kitchen with mommy, opening cabinets and opening closets. And there's so much stuff. Do you guys ever walk around your house and you're like, what have I done? Part of the problem is me. Yes, I love to shop, and I can't believe I'm admitting that, but it just is. Like sometimes I look at this stuff and I'm like, wow, why do I have this? Why am I hanging on to it? At some point I loved it, but it's also time to part with it. Like I have so many jars, and I have maybe a slight obsession with jars. I save pasta jars, peanut butter jars, any sort of jar. I just feel like they're so useful in the kitchen for like bacon grease if you don't want to put it down the sink. If you're doing, like we homeschool, right? So maybe I can store something in this jar, and well, I already paid for the pasta jar, so why am I going to pay for a mason jar? So I weeded out quite a bit of things. I love these. They're from Costco. I'm just going to go through this cabinet. There's honestly not a lot that I needed to donate rather than just actually organize. Everything fits in here, and I did this last year. So sometimes the space can be reworked. That's another tip I have for you. Sometimes the space can just be reworked. It's a matter of reorganizing, but maybe not just like organizing to make it look good, but like make it function for how you work in the space. So what I had before wasn't working out for me. I hardly ever reach for these large glass pans unless it is a holiday We all know how that goes, but I pared down so much last year to those 3 baking dishes, those large ones, and I use those for literally like Thanksgiving and Christmas, or if we're making something really large. Otherwise, I'm cooking in my crock pot or on the stove. I don't really use the oven that often, so those are going to go to the back. They're not going to take up my precious real estate in the front of the cabinet. Make your space work for you. It doesn't need to be aesthetically pleasing or Pinterest worthy. Your home is for you and your house and the people that live in it. So make it work for you. And you know what? If it's not working, then maybe it's time for a change. So I found quite a bit that I'm actually going to be able to get rid of out of this cabinet. And I pared down quite a bit of the jars. I kept, I think, 2 of these. They're almost like sparkling lemonades. We use those for science projects. My kids love to do like the vinegar and baking soda with food coloring, so those are always fun. So there's a few things that I got rid of, but as you're going through, if it is something that just needs to be reorganized, always take a second look. There may be 1 or 2 items, and you'd be surprised just by rearranging and sorting things out. There may be 1 or 2 things taken out of there that just, it makes the space feel brand new. There's lids in here that are cracked. Like I can't anymore. So I'm gonna get rid of some of these things that are broken and need to go, and then we will move on to the next cabinet.
Just a bit of sugar to that horrid bitter. Maybe you taste different. Hold up, baby. I can sit beside you while you're going on about your simple life. Nothing left you thinking that maybe you're not different. Go on, blow up your ego, your undying ego. Oh, look here he goes, stepping on toes with his humble lacking everlasting ego. I guess it never hit you. Our conversation takes 2, paying it some interest from time to time. Inside all that greatness and all of your adventures, you're all alone. Hold up, baby.
This cabinet looks so much better. These, I believe I got off of, I want to say Temu a long time ago, and they honestly work really well as fridge liners, but they made the fridge look a little bit dark, and I'm definitely like bright and airy when it comes to the fridge, because if it's not bright and airy, I'm going to overlook so much food in the back of the fridge. This egg container, great idea, it never worked out, and I want to actually invest in a really nice like glass pitcher. This one is from Dollar Tree. There's nothing wrong with it. It works just fine, but I would like to have a nicer one. I feel like that can actually hold up to the amount of tea or whatever we want to put in this pitcher. I feel like the handle is a little bit flimsy, so that's something that I am going to donate and or ask family if they'd like to use it. So going over to our under the sink storage, there was nothing wrong with this system. I got these baskets at Dollar Tree. I swear by them, they work so well, but I definitely wanted to change out the storage. I took these out of, I think, either my boy's closet or our homeschool cabinet. I don't know. I end up switching them at the end of the video. If something's not working and you just redid it, this might be another tip. You'll find all kinds of little tips in this video, so stick around for that. I'll just throw them in as I think about them. If you do something like you're gonna watch me totally reorganize this entire space, and it would be nice to have those like stackable shelves, but sometimes you're just like working with what you got. Shop your house and find what you have on hand first before you go out and buy a ton of bins, because then you might actually have what you need on hand. So you're gonna watch me reorganize this with these really nice shallower bins, and then later I decide they work better in our homeschool cabinet. So I just wanted to vacuum under here quickly and see if there were any cleaning supplies that we could get rid of or things that we didn't need. Fun fact, we don't ever use the dishwasher. You can see it's unplugged, but I always like to just check under here to make sure nothing's leaking and there's no cleaning chemicals. I had an entire bottle of the yellow Mr. Clean. You guys, it's spilled everywhere, all over the cabinet bottom. That's why I covered it with liner. I don't know how, but it leaked. So from now on, everything stays in some bin. That way, if it ever decides to spill again, it will be completely ruined. If you guys have any ideas, let me know. 1, how you store your trash bags, and 2, my husband and I have been toying around with the idea of getting one of those like mini freezers. We don't have a deep freezer. It would be so nice to have extra freezer space. We like to shop in bulk, but it's a little difficult with not having like a deep freezer space. We could purchase more, I feel like. I don't know. If you've ever used one of like the smaller ones, it's almost like a dorm size freezer, let me know. Otherwise, I don't know what we would do with the dishwasher space. It's like an awkward if we took the dishwasher out and like sold it or gave it away. It'd be this huge empty hole. I don't know if we'd put like a beverage bar in there. I don't know. I feel like that would be a waste of space as well. But anyways, I'm going to hang on to those soap pumps. That would probably be my next tip, is that if you are redoing a space and decluttering, it is 100% okay to hang on to an item. Give yourself a time limit though. I've seen systems where they put a little like sticky note on it, or a sticky tab, or they put it in a different bucket and put that bucket like maybe by the front door, and you know what, hey, if I don't reach for this in a week or a month, then you know what, it's gonna go. So here's the next place that we're gonna go through. We are gonna go through my ridiculous mug and cup collection. I am the only one in the house that drinks coffee. My husband doesn't drink coffee. Obviously my kids don't drink coffee. I just like, why do I have so many? I think I've heard a rule of like 2 per each person in the house. So I'm gonna try to pare this down, because believe it or not, these 8 or 9 cups do take up quite a bit of space. So these are my kids' cups. I love these. They're really great, and I want to replace these ones, but I'm not going to donate those until I bring in a new set. So I'm going to pare down quite a bit of what we have, organize our little medicine area first, and then make some space just so that when I open this cabinet, it is a little bit breathable. I took those out of the fridge and used that for medicine, and you know what? It worked out great. That organizer, I think anything clear you see in this video is 100% from Dollar Tree. Dollar Tree is the best place to buy baskets if you're looking for something inexpensive, and honestly, like, they last really well. I've had baskets from Dollar Tree for like 5 or 6 years and had no issues. So now we have a ton of space in here. That's for sourdough. I failed miserably with that, so we're just gonna leave that there in case I ever decide to start another sourdough starter. A miscellaneous cabinet. It keeps all of like foil, parchment paper, you name it, lunchbox bag that we use. We homeschool, so we don't need a lot of those, but I have one that we use if we go on day trips or things like that. This is a rice steamer I never actually use, so I'm gonna give that away, and I was able to give quite a these things away or just donate them. So always just check the items before you either chuck them. A lot of the stuff you're probably getting rid of can just go to a donation center or be given away to family or friends. You'd be surprised at who might want something. Here is a small chest of drawers. This is like our entryway, and there's just so many things in here that make no sense. Like there's pieces of vacuum, there's trays I haven't used for decor, there's Easter decor. Like you can see, I'm literally questioning every item. I keep the kids' light bright in here just because it's in easy access. It's something they like to do at night or during the day, so that'll stay there. And then this is my Valentine's Day and I think 4th of July, I don't know, but this is all Valentine's Day in this drawer, so I'm not going to go through this. I've gone through this last year and I'm like, hey, there's a candle I haven't seen in a while. So the bottom is a bunch of floral, and I feel like I've weeded out quite a bit. I'm going to hang on to decor. I feel like that's one place I'm not going to ruthlessly declutter just yet. I'm not ready to do that, so give yourself time. If there are things that you want to hang on to, it's okay to just do it one step at a time. You don't have to see videos like this or, you know, these amazing, massive declutters, and they're so organized and super either minimal or have these like massive piles. Do things on your own time. Do what's right for your house, and as long as you're making progress, you kind of have to give yourself that credit. Otherwise, it becomes a chore. And I've learned that decluttering can actually be kind of fun because it's nice to have a fresh space, and you deserve to have a fresh space. And it is so true. It's so true that when you clear your space, you do clear your mind, and it's a lot easier to sleep at night. Trust me, there have been so many weeks where I'm like, okay, today's the day we're gonna declutter. I'm gonna get this done, and then it just like looms over my head for days. Did you guys see that pile of stuff I got out of like 3 drawers? Moving on to my desk, there wasn't too much to go in here, but it's honestly just like disarray. There's books in here I haven't read. There are my son's dinosaur. He loves this dinosaur. There's just things that don't belong in here. So another tip I would give you is, if you are decluttering, carry a basket around with you, carry it from room to room, and carry it to each little dresser. Whatever you're questioning, whether that's trash, donate, you name it, throw it in the basket. Do it all, and then take it one space at a time. So like I'm doing my desk right now, and the TV cabinet's there, and then the closet's there. You can take the basket to the desk. I'm going to get rid of any paper in here that I think needs to be shredded, or something that needs to be filed away, or just arts and crafts items. I have my press-on nails in here. Like there's so many things that I know either A, don't belong here, I'm going to donate, or I need to trash. I'll throw it in the basket and then sit down with that basket, take care of that, and then you can move on to the next area of that room. So it kind of just little bite sizes of decluttering. It doesn't have to be the entire room all at once. Again, make the system work for you. The basket system works really great when I'm dealing with a ton of stuff like this. Carry that basket into the bathroom, and here's a hair straightener I found. And then for some reason, there's just like a sample things from the hospital when I was pregnant with my son, like 4 or 5 years ago. Just things that we haven't used that need to be tossed or are expired. So not a lot, but it's definitely a pile of items that I no longer have to care for. So that's always nice.
We're shutting down our minds. We just want to feel that rush. Losing track of time, but that's so typical of us. When I hear the bass play.
So I do have 2 little guys, and we went through some of the items in their room with their permission, their dad and I, and we're like, hey, birthdays are coming up. Christmas is right around the corner. I know that sounds crazy because it's only August, but I promise you it's like around the corner. My little guy was ready to move out of his toddler bed, so I was able to gather up the toddler bed and then this kitchen and this tool bench we've had for quite some time, and honestly have gotten little to no playtime. I think my kids are just kind of grown out of this, and they weren't being used, taking up precious space in the closet. So I was actually able to sell a few items on Facebook Marketplace. That's definitely not something you have to do, but I figured they were in great condition. And I also went through their clothing. I did all of this off camera, but these are items that I didn't need to hang on to for my little guy because he's outgrown them. And then there's quite a bit that I found in my oldest son's closet, and these are items that either I know it will take some time for my youngest to fit into, or items that I've already purchased off season. I buy off season clothes all the time in larger sizes, and I have a huge tote, so there was no need to hang on to any of these. So I was able to donate those as well. The next place that I was going to declutter was going to be mine and my husband's closet, and then plans changed. We're actually in California, and this was right in our backyard, and we were put on evacuation warning for several. Thankfully, we were not affected, and there's so many families that just our hearts are with them. See something like this so close from your backyard, it's definitely a little shaking, but we had a lot of downtime, my husband and I, so we were able to go through like totes that had old clothes in them, and we were actually able to declutter quite a bit. So here's a clip of things. We had a pretty good pile from my husband, and then I'll show you at the end of the video items that we were able to get rid of as well. So I went through our bathroom, and we went through his. If you guys have been around for a while, then you know I call this mommy's closet. It's basically the catch-all closet. It's got like all of the decor in it. It's got our homeschool supplies, carpet shampooers, Christmas tree, you name it. But packing up things that you think potentially are, you know, invaluable. There's nothing, like there's no price on it. Like you pick up all of your documents and, you know, clothing that you can think of, kids' toys and medicine, and you pack up. You guys, I packed up all of our curriculum. That's why like that bucket was in the car, because I'm like, I'm not leaving. If anything, you know, potentially burns, then we need to be able to do school. So like it was crazy. The house was in pure chaos for like 2 or 3 days. Nothing insane, but I mean, when you're going through the house kind of in the middle of the night and you're packing bags, it's just everything gets tossed to the wayside as far as organization is concerned. So it was kind of nice that I had gone through the kids' room already. I had known where everything was, but in that sort of scenario, it was almost just like handed to us that we could go through things and figure out like, hey, why are we hanging on to this? It kind of changes your perspective. So that's why I am striving now to, and it not that it takes something like that to change your mind, but it kind of opens your eyes to things that I may have been hanging on to for honestly no reason, or things that I've had since, gosh, like high school, like that just serve no purpose. And yes, there's a place and time for sentimental items, but just, you know, like tchotchke things or things that are taking up mental space in my brain that I'm constantly having to rearrange or declutter. Just kind of keep that in mind when you are decluttering. Is this taking up more of your mental space or more of your time than you want it to? Maybe think about that when it comes to really hard items that are really hard to declutter. I definitely get hung up sometimes on items that I'm like, well, I really love that, and then it's like, okay, but it's been sitting in a drawer for the last year and you've never touched it. So I needed to organize school, because all of our school stuff was sitting in the car in this bin, and you guys, I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it. I just started dumping stuff in the bin, and I was freaking out. I'm like, I need everything in this bucket. I need every single piece of school. If you homeschool, you know homeschool it's a little expensive. It can get a little pricey. So I was like, this is going. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. Like, everything in this cabinet is going with this. So I desperately needed a reset, and it was kind of nice because we are going to be starting new curriculum books. We do use The Good and the Beautiful, but I supplement so much. I like to change it up a lot. I use a lot of workbooks. We make our own lesson plans, so I like to have everything within an arm's reach, and this cabinet is amazing for that. So you saw me mention a lot of the buckets that were under the sink, those 2 buckets. You see me using them now. I was going to purchase paper trays, and I'm like, nope, we're just going to use what we have on hand. And these buckets, the blue ones, have been floating around my house for like 3 years, and they go to the pantry, then they go to the kids' room, and then they go under to the bathroom, like under the bathroom sink to hold all my hair care, and then they come back out here, and they're great. As long as I wipe them down, they're totally fine. So I'm going to finish organizing, and these are our morning reads. I've toyed around with doing a morning basket, but I haven't found anything big enough. If you have any suggestions, let me know. Baskets I see nowadays are like $35, you guys. And I've never like struck gold at Goodwill or thrift stores. And so if you have any ideas, definitely let me know. When I mean I dumped everything, I literally just dumped everything and anything into a bucket that I could find. So here we are reorganizing all of my like quote unquote teacher supplies. So I'm going to do that, and then we will move into decorating the top of the school cabinet and just kind of getting everything ready for a new week and a fresh start. Have you guys ever seen those spinning caddies? I think I found one online on Amazon, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna order this. It's been sitting in my cart. If you don't know that, it's not a hack really. It's like, honestly, I feel like it's on any website. If you just put something in your cart, the price will drop in like a week or two. I don't guarantee that, but I feel like most of the time that I let something sit in my cart, it's like, hey, this price dropped. I save everything. I think just one, because you kind of have to be a little crafty when you are a homeschool mom. You are like extremely resourceful when it comes to learning manipulatives or teaching your kids in different ways and making things fun with what you have on hand, because it can just become a little costly. So anyways, I like saving yogurt cups because they're really fun sorting activities for kiddos if you're like learning letters, shapes, numbers. We don't use that anymore, so I found out that these Noosa yogurt cups fit perfectly inside this Dollar Tree caddy, and I was like, this is amazing. This is going to be a really easy way to like sort all of our go-to gadgets in the morning. Our erasers. These erasers are really fun. They're super cute, but they're also something that your kids can kind of toy around with if they're a little fidgety. Scissors, pencils, dry erase markers, our dye, clothespins, whatever I think they need for the morning. I pull out this basket, and guess what? I put it on the table, and it's easy peasy. So here is an overview of the homeschool cabinet. This is all of our like flashcards, shapes, anything that we may use on the daily, but it's not an everyday item. These baskets are going to work so beautifully when it comes to taking everything out. Eventually, I think we're going to get something a little bit taller, but for now, this works perfectly fine. I have all of our whiteboards over here, our math boxes, coloring items, and then here's all of my learning manipulatives, shapes, puzzles, letters, strings, magnets, puzzles, anything you can think of. A lot of the games for like kindergarten and pre-K from the curriculum, and then all of our books. On the bottom is the kind of overflow for like super quick morning lessons, our drawing baskets, you name it, it's in here. So I'm really happy that that's all set. If you guys are still hanging out with me, don't forget to subscribe. Again, I'm going to decorate the top of this cabinet because I feel like it was in such disarray. I just need something cute to look at. This is our dining room. This is where we live and breathe. I feel like 90% of our day exists between the kitchen, the dining room, and the living room, and I wouldn't have it any other way, but all of the clutter that was sitting on top of here, I just couldn't do it anymore. So I picked up a paint sample. It's called Cleary Sage from Lowe's, and I am going to paint it. As you can see, it's got a ton of wear and tear. I used chalk paint on here just because I had extra chalk paint, and oh my goodness, absolute nightmare. I didn't seal it with anything. I spray painted it because I had no idea what I was doing, but that was a DIY that went wrong. I'm going to wipe it down to the best of my abilities, and then I'm going to just throw something up here so that it looks like it's still part of the dining room, but is functioning as our homeschool cabinet. You guys, I don't even know what this is. I think it's like dry erase marker from the morning menu, and then there's paint on here. I don't know what happened, but if you have suggestions, let me know. I know that it's laminate underneath, so the paint adhering is probably not the best idea. I'm a little bummed I did paint it. It used to be this really pretty brown color, and my husband was like, you're not gonna like it, you're not gonna like it. And here we are, it's like a year later, and I'm like, yeah, I probably didn't like it, but the cabinet is great. It holds so much. So this part of the video is sponsored by Himela. They actually did work with me on a previous video, and they sent over another beautiful lamp. This is such a fun way to cozy up this room. I cannot wait to decorate with this for the different seasons. This lamp is not only something that's going to be cute, but it's super functional. I can charge all of our gadgets here, and it has USB ports, so I don't have to have 5 different plugs coming out of the wall. And it is touch. It does have this rope detail on the shade. I like that because it's not just like one of those, I don't know how to explain it, but I feel like it's going to be easier to clean than a normal standard shade. It does have this antique Edison bulb. It does save a ton of energy, and honestly the bulb just looks so pretty. So I'm going to go ahead and put this together, and then I'm going to style the top of it and just kind of straighten up in here. If you see the camera bouncing up and down, it's because my kids are hopping around in the background. I did go ahead and put the lamp on this black riser. I think I got these at Target 2 or 3 years ago, and I've used them everywhere in my house. I love them. And then I just threw this small boxwood plant on top. I love these. They're really easy to just kind of like plop around the house. You guys have the worst time with indoor plants, so if you have any ideas, let me know, because I've looked at, I think it's there's a brand that has like a watering system, and it's honestly like something that you can't forget to water, so you water it and then it self waters. And I'm like, okay, that would actually be a way for me not to kill an indoor plant. Anyways, the lamp looks amazing. I threw some candlesticks up here. They didn't look right. They're like a creamy color, so then I ended up grabbing some warmer toned ones, and then I put some books under the lamp instead of the riser. And I feel like as you can see here, you turn on the lamp. I always forget where to touch to turn on the lamp, but I love, one, that it's very simple and super accessible for my kids. We don't have to flick on the big light all the time. My kiddos can come and just turn the lamp on if they want to read in the morning or read at night during bedtime. It's the perfect ambiance. This lamp is beautiful. I love the color, and I love that it is able to charge via USB, and there are 2 charging ports, so it's not just one item, but it's something simple. It's a really classy design, and the USB ports aren't chunky. You can see my kids are playing in the background, but I sit here. That's like my teacher chair during the day. My kids know that's where mommy sits, so it's like in the perfect position. I can move it to the other side if I want, but if we're using something that requires any sort of power, this is going to be amazing. Thank you again so much to Himela for sending this beautiful lamp over and for sponsoring this portion of today's video. I had so much fun styling this lamp. I have a lot of fun ideas for the holidays coming up. Don't forget to subscribe. Here are some videos I think you might like. Don't forget to give yourself grace today. Thank you for spending any portion of your time with me. You guys truly don't know how much that means to me and supporting my channel.